The following program is a SUTV production. The views expressed are not necessarily those of Salisbury University, the University System of Maryland, its regents, administration, officers, employees, or representatives.
Hello and welcome to Sports Night. I'm Kat Murphy.
I'm Travis Nardella.
I'm Amir Carter.
And I'm Will Ovington. And now for an overview of SU sports. The women's soccer team's run for a third straight CAC championship was halted last Wednesday in a semi-final round against top-seeded Christopher Newport, losing by a final score of 3-1. Junior goalie Michelle Conrad stopped Newport's first three shots on goal. Freshman Marissa Walker put the Seagulls on the board first, but it would not be enough as the Newport tied it up 5 minutes later. Newport netted the go-ahead goal at the 28:44 mark. At halftime, freshman Alicia Seifert relieved Conrad of her goaltending duties, but allowed the lone second-half goal to Christopher Newport. The Seagulls were unable to score in the second half and fell 3-1. The goals finished with a final record of 10-6-4.
Congratulations to the number 8 Salisbury field hockey team. They earned the program's 17th Capital Championship after giving Christopher Newport University their first loss of the season. Rachel Kluwer had 3 saves to keep the game close with the help of Katie Hastings, Amanda Cooper, and Alexis Carroll, making this their 9th shutout of the season. In double overtime, freshman Yumi Kim scored, giving the Seagulls the win. Now the Seagulls will wait to find out who they will play this Saturday at 11 a.m.
Salisbury suffered a thrilling 1-0 defeat to York College on Saturday in the CAC championship game. They did, although, receive an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament with their impressive 17-3 record. On Saturday, they will host Greensboro at 1:30 right here at Salisbury University, and if they win, they'll play the winner of Messiah College and Centenary, New Jersey on Sunday at 1:30 p.m.
All right, guys, let's talk about college. We're talking about college football, a little bit of NFL. So let's start with college. What do you guys? All right, let's start with the Heisman Trophy. Who do you guys think are our top contenders here?
Well, it's still Marcus Mariota, still Jameis Winston,
Johnny
Manziel, and I'm going to throw A.J. McCarron into the race.
Bryce Petty for Baylor, but I don't think it should be Johnny Manziel because I hate Johnny Manziel. Also, he's full of himself, and a Heisman Trophy winner should be a leader, well, he's a leader. I take that back. Should be a good person. That's my opinion.
Well, Johnny Football's a good person. He just likes to party.
Right, but you
can be a good person.
He's also all right, but he's full of himself, and I don't think that he's a respectable in the sense of how people view him.
We all know Johnny Manziel's a rebel. He's, I guess, the bad boy of the college football. But if you look at the numbers, he beats them in all categories except for
he is a great
rushing
player.
touchdowns. So he's a good player. I see what you're saying. He does get wild at times, and it really doesn't give a good representation of college football. But I think we're getting to the point where we accept it. And if you have to give it to the best player, if you look at the numbers, which we base most things off, you have to give it to him.
Yeah, but there's also the sense that I like what Travis said, putting A.J. McCarron into the conversation because he's on his way to winning his 3rd straight national championship, and you don't do that.
A little bit respectable.
That's true.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
And I mean, there's also a little bit of politics that go into this because the Heisman voters don't like giving the Heisman to freshmen. Johnny Football was the first time they'd ever done that.
Mm-hmm.
Archie Griffin was the only person to ever win the Heisman twice, and that would be Johnny Football. And Mariota is hurt, so I think he's kind of out of the discussion. So I think now that puts up the Baylor quarterback and also A.J. McCarron as our
I think we
front
shouldn't
runners.
take away that just because Winston's a freshman that he can't win the Heisman Trophy, though. I mean, that's still definitely a possibility. I agree with what you guys were saying that because he's a freshman, it's a lot more difficult to gain that status. But I think that that's something he can do. He puts up the numbers, too. He's definitely still in it.
Winston's definitely going to be a finalist. We all know that.
Right.
He's going to be there. And I really hope he wins because I really like him a lot, his style. And I think he'll do better accepting the award than Johnny Manziel. I don't
I
think Winston's going to
agree.
go out and,
Johnny
and
Manziel,
party. He's probably going to work harder
his
for the
head
next
will
season.
blow up. He will fit through the door to the parties.
You're not excited to see Johnny Manziel with 2 Heismans partying with Charlie Sheen? You're not,
I
I would love to see that.
I just
I'm
think
sorry.
that this is going to be, it would be too much for me to handle. I can't
I-
handle, the autographs was one thing. We were like, all right, the money thing, that was another thing. We were like, all right, it's just pushing it, man. I'm getting.
I'd rather see A.J. McCarron walk into draft day wearing 3 national championship rings, carrying a Heisman Trophy with him.
He might deserve it at this point. You know what I mean? Think about, he's won so much that is it unfair for us to kind of count him out? You know what I mean?
I think so. But so Manziel has 2 losses. Mariota has a loss.
Right.
So if they were still undefeated as a team, does Johnny move up and we're like, okay, we kind of have to give it to him again? But with those 2 losses, that's a big impact because usually the people that are in the Heisman, they're in the national championship the next day. So are those 2 losses a big factor in this, or we're just that they're going to look at Winston and McCarron because they're undefeated?
I don't think you'll look at Winston and McCarron because they're undefeated. They're having great seasons, and McCarron is obviously on his way to a 3rd national championship. But I think those 2 losses are going to hurt them just a little bit, but not enough to impact their final votes.
So I guess we'll see how that pans out. While we're still talking about college football, do you guys want to mention what happened with the Ohio State wide receiver who said that he will that the Buckeyes would wipe the field with both Alabama and Florida State? What do you guys think about that?
That is a bold statement if I've ever heard one.
That is a very bold statement.
Because they would be on the floor getting wiped out of the building between any of those 2 teams.
Now, he said it was, he apparently sat down and watched the 2 teams and then, made statements about them that he, understood their strengths and weaknesses and the Buckeyes can, exploit them. So apparently he's not coming out of nowhere. He actually sat down and watched this, but that's a little bit over the top to say.
I don't think he knows who the head coach of Alabama is.
I mean, if he thinks he can pinpoint the weaknesses of Alabama's defense, I think we'd all like to know that because that's something nobody has been able to figure out.
He's got the secret, guys. He knows it. All right?
He knows Alabama's
He knows.
It's kryptonite, and we can't get it. We will not find it.
The people at Ohio State think that just because they're undefeated that they can beat anybody, but just they play in the Big Ten. Look who they've played. Their best game this season is against Wisconsin, who's ranked 22nd.
Yeah, they haven't played any teams that can
they
even
really
prove
haven't.
that they're that great of a team.
Yeah, everybody thought that when they played Northwestern, Northwestern's number 15. Well,
They've
they
dropped 5
haven't
straight now.
Yeah, they haven't won a Big Ten game, and
Exactly.
Michigan has proven that they're not a Big Ten worthy team lately. So then they play Michigan, they're probably going to beat them badly.
It's all part of the business, man. They all think that they're full of themselves. Johnny Manziel, thank you for bringing
And
that.
If you look at Alabama and Florida State, they've played teams in the top 5 already. And Alabama plays another game against Auburn in a couple weeks, who's a top 10.
Yeah.
We're ready for an exciting end of the season,
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
to say
So-
the least.
And my advice I would give to Evan Spencer is that Anthony Thomas said that they were going to at least put 40 points on Stanford. And that didn't go well. We saw how Stanford demolished them, and Oregon didn't wake up till the 4th quarter. So why would you talk again after you saw what a player just did? Wouldn't you
trying to get
learn
more
your lesson and be like,
attention,
okay,
man.
maybe we should be quiet and let our, oh my gosh.
Think about the attention they're receiving now because of this. That's going to make people actually question, will they be able to beat them? I think
They might just bump up Ohio State to number 2.
I mean, that's, you know what I mean?
just
Just
to watch
because
the
he
game.
said this, let's just bump them up so we can hear him talk. I mean, whatever gets your publicity, Do you guys want to talk about the NFL a little bit?
All right.
Let's do it.
What do you guys think about the Redskins and the Vikings game?
I think the Redskins are now guaranteed to be the greatest one-half team in the NFL.
That might be a
Their
possibility.
struggles early in the season were they weren't waking up until the second half. And
I
this
mean,
last,
but they gave it up. Think about all the penalties. Dude,
I know.
penalties ruin
I know.
games.
I know.
They ruin lives.
I just feel bad for Redskins fans because every time something's going good, it's always something.
Change her up right away.
Yeah, so another aspect of the team ruins everything. And I mean, they're a good team. You have to admit, they've improved, especially last year. I mean, RG3, he's proven himself. He's coming back into his role. Alfred Morris, Pierre Garçon. They have players. They have people that are good. But then it's just one thing that just brings everything down. I feel bad for them.
They were containing Adrian Peterson. They were looking
Right.
good. I was like, wow, the Redskins are stepping it up. And then there was like 102 penalties and like all this crap. And then the Vikings were going on this drive and they were like, oh, let's just count off these penalties. Go ahead, one after the other. And it was just kind of a
Well, I'm telling
kind
you,
of a
this
mistake.
is what's going to happen. I'm going to keep repeating this. They're going to change the name after this season,
And
and
I
you
keep
guys are
telling
going to
you,
win the Super Bowl.
I'm not going to
That's what's
accept
gonna
it.
happen.
I'm not going to accept
They
that
are going
Lombardi
to change the
trophy.
name. It's the name. That's the curse. Everybody trying. It's not the coach. It's not the players. It is the name. As soon as they change the name,
I
they
just
win.
want to add something. Going back to last week's show, when Will said that if the Giants could beat the Vikings, then the Redskins certainly could beat the
And
Vikings.
they did.
No.
They crushed them in the first half. And they
It
had
was looking
another
so
one of those
positive.
famous meltdowns that have become all too familiar to the Washington fans. I'm done. I've locked in the Eagles as my favorite for the NFC.
So
East.
the Eagles are going to win.
Yeah, Eagles and Nick Foles. If Chip Kelly stays with Nick Foles as the starter,
I don't know why he
Eagles are
wouldn't.
gonna-
They're
Yeah.
literally already comparing him to Peyton Manning. I don't know why they wouldn't. Why?
Okay,
Why would you
all
put
right.
Vic back in after all of this? Why would you put him back in? That makes no sense to
I
me.
think
because
it's
you
just like
signed
a-
him as your franchise player.
Exactly. I think it's a-
Regardless, if someone is 10 times better than your signed
10
player,
times?
all right, a few
10
times,
times
all right,
better?
a few times. Better. How about better? If Nick Foles is better, why the heck would you not play him? Just
But
because you're,
'cause-
I don't care if you're, listen, Ray Rice used to be like, they like signed him as like the face of the Ravens, and he's not doing crap, all right? He gets like 1 yard every like carry. It's all BS
He's
to
still
me.
dangerous though.
But it doesn't, like,
He's
I'm just
still
saying that if
dangerous.
you're a better player, you should be playing.
But I don't think it's easy because, like, Nick Foles, it's not like we can always count on him. Because last year we saw his problem with turnovers, and
Right.
and he's gotten better. I'll admit that.
I mean, he's gotten
And
way better.
I think he should
had
be
no
the starting
interceptions.
quarterback. Yeah, but I think Chip Kelly is still wondering, the Eagles' offensive coordinator. He doesn't know how Nick is gonna react 3 weeks from now. So I think they're just waiting and trying to make the best decision. Nick Foles is probably gonna end up being the starting quarterback because Michael Vick's career is obviously going down.
Right.
So, but I think Michael Vick might end up starting when he comes back. It depends. Let's see
I
how
don't
he does
know.
next game.
It's a tough one. It just doesn't make any sense to me why you wouldn't. It's almost.
I think it's going to end up being like that that situation in San Francisco last year. You know, you get your
With
who's
with
supposed to be your
Kaepernick?
starting quarterback back healthy, but you're going to keep in your backup, and you end up
Right.
releasing your starter, and then he's going to go off somewhere and do great things.
Sometimes the new guy surprises
While
you. You know what I
team-
mean?
While your starter that did great last year is not doing so well.
I think having a new quarterback is a great thing. Like, you start off this new guy that nobody's used to. I feel like people can read Vic now. I mean, he freaking gets sacked every other play. I'm just tired of him. I think that it's a good thing to have a new quarterback, somebody who's different, someone changing up the game. I think that's always a good thing.
The Seahawks thought the same thing last year with Matt
That's
Flynn.
true. But, and you know what, but it doesn't work out every time, but, it worked out for Kaepernick. It can work out for this guy. I don't see why not. I believe.
Let's talk about the Rams versus the Colts game because I've been waiting. Tavon Austin has been one of my favorite players. I saw him play in high
He's
school.
so good.
And his speed in West Virginia, I was just praying. That's the only reason why I watched the draft, to see who he went to, and I cut it right off. And him having 3 touchdowns, 2 receptions, that punt return, just pure speed. I don't think he made that.
We should call him Wheels.
He just
Call him Wheels.
Oh my God. Yeah,
He's
he's his speed is ridiculous. I
Dude,
don't
and
know
he's
how
a
he runs that
little
fast.
dude.
Yeah, he's 5'8".
He's
So he's
5'8".
5'7" in real life.
He's a little dude. Yeah, you know what? They do that in sports. They do. But that's like, he's so fast. He's so little and he's so good.
And to do this against
think-
the Indianapolis Colts,
Right, it's
not
Indianapolis
another team.
this had to be one of the most topsy-turvy weeks in NFL I've seen. The 2 winless
did.
teams get wins. Teams you least expect to lose end up losing, among them being the Colts.
What does it say about the Colts? Is it because Reggie Wayne was gone and that's a big factor, or is it more than that and they need to get it
I
together?
think it was more than that because they put up, 38 points?
Yeah.
And, I mean, that's on the defense mostly. That's not the offense not being able to keep up. That's the defense not being able to stop them.
Yeah, time of possession.
Well, regardless, he's fantastic. I'm about to read something to you guys. I'm about to enlighten everybody.
All right.
He put up 314 yards, which is the second most in Rams franchise history, and he ran back a punt 98 yards for the second longest punt return in the NFL. Wow.
And did you see
That is fantastic.
Did you see on the punt return, he was calling his other teammates off, and then he's like, it's like he planned that he wanted
Yeah.
to take the ball and run it 98
He
yards.
knew. That, you know what? That is the confidence, the good confidence, not the Johnny Manziel confidence, but the good
God.
confidence that it takes to do something like that. You know
But
what I mean?
he had no business touching that ball inside the 5. Luckily, it worked out for him.
But he did.
He worked out,
But
it
he
worked out for
knows.
him this time, but next time, he's going to get clobbered inside
But
the 5.
Will, he's that
Coach
type
is
of
gonna
guy who
bench him.
Yeah, but
he
he's
can
got
get that
wheels.
green light though. He
got
has
the
flex-
wheels.
Dexter McCluster could do the same thing, and I would have no problem with if he got tackled or if he scored.
He could do it, man. He's got the wheels.
Just
I believe. You guys want to talk about the Ravens game?
Oh my gosh.
How do you guys feel about the Ravens?
they are
And we all know that this is not their year.
contrary to what some might think. This is not their push for the division title. The Bengals are going to lock up the division in a few
Which
weeks.
is dumb. Why? This is dumb. I don't even like Andy Dalton. This is dumb.
What?
the
Why don't
A-
you like Andy Dalton?
I just don't like him. I just don't like him.
Because he's in the same division. It makes
Yeah,
sense. Because
it's
I
not real
like
fair.
Andy Dalton a lot. I'm a Pittsburgh fan, but I really like him. He doesn't get as much credit as I think he should. Because
Really,
he always
but like
throws
I
for
don't
over
really
like
think
300.
he's good enough to get credit. I mean, he's a good quarterback. I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback, but like something about the last play of that game really shook me because he really it made me mad. I was like, he's getting credit for this touchdown. He literally lobbed it into the end zone. Everybody prayed a Hail Mary, and one of the Ravens players stuck up his finger, just happened to tip, and one of them caught it. I was like, this guy gets a touchdown for
Yeah,
this.
but
This
he's
is
got-
BS. He is not even that good. He just threw in the end zone and
But
was
he's got
praying.
the
not
arm
putting-
power to get it to the end zone.
That's
There
right.
are
That shows
quarterbacks in the
it was
NFL
on the
who can't do
50-yard
that.
line.
No, that's true. But I
Alex
just thought
Smith
it was
can't throw it that far.
all right.
And he's leading an undefeated team.
I just think it was. I just thought that whole game was just ridiculous.
I mean,
to me.
we're not putting Andy Dalton in the Peyton Manning and Tom Brady and Drew Brees category.
Right.
We're putting him with Andrew Luck and RG3 and Cam Newton and all of them. And he's one of the top 5 guys within them. He's really good. I really like him a lot.
I just think he's been with the Bengals long enough that he should be better than he is. Like I mean, Cam Newton's been around for a few years, not even long. He's been here, not
Same amount of years, right?
Yeah,
And Andy Dalton.
RG3. I just feel like there's I don't know. I was expecting.
They have more excitement around them too, though. I mean,
Right.
their play style, their
They're hyped
scrambling
up a little
quarterback.
more.
Andy
Andy
Dalton
Dalton's a
is
quiet talent.
Yeah, he's very
Quiet.
quiet.
Luckily, he's got AJ Green to take a lot of the pressure off of
Exactly.
him. He can just throw it up to AJ Green and not have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
And he really won't have to worry about getting tackled next season because the Bengals are going to get Richie Incognito because they always get the convicts, so the bad players, he's going to get
convicts.
them, and they're going to do great.
They're gonna do great things. This kind of doesn't really have to do with the NFL, but kind of. Tebow is now.
Tebow mania is back.
Yeah, it's back. So Tebow wants to be a broadcaster. He signed a broadcast agent.
Oh my gosh.
What do you guys think
Tebow.
about that?
I feel really bad for Tim Tebow. I really want him to at least change his position or do something in
Right.
the NFL. I like Tim Tebow a lot. Yeah, he's
I like
not
Tim Tebow
he's not a
too.
quarterback, but I mean, he's such a nice guy, you know?
How can you not like Tim Tebow? He's so nice.
Right. Compare that Heisman winner to Johnny Manziel. They're completely different people. So he really represents college football and the NFL. But I'm not surprised by this because, I mean, he just couldn't find a spot to stay.
It's he's been running around all over the place, and he still wants to be. He still has the dream to be a quarterback in the NFL. Like I just want to give him a good pat on the back and be like, you know what? You're still trying. Good for you. Never give up on your dreams. I feel bad for this guy though, man. He's trying so hard. He's not getting anywhere.
What ab-
Now he's got to be on TV because he can't do anything else.
What about the Saints and the Cowboys? Did Drew Brees get everybody's attention off of Peyton and say, hey, I can throw just like that too?
I think we're poised for a matchup between two of the greatest quarterbacks in the NFL right now, with Drew Brees and Peyton Manning playing each other in the Super Bowl. I think
it's a
the Saints proved that they are a force to be reckoned with in the NFC.
At home.
At
home. Only
At
one.
home only.
If the Saints make it to the Super Bowl, I am not picking them to win because they're going to go into the 20-degree MetLife Stadium and be like, all right, let's take them back to the Superdome now.
So they're very specific on where they're playing, obviously.
But what are you guys' thoughts on the situation in the AFC West? We got the top two teams in the AFC West, Broncos and Chiefs. Who's winning the division?
The Chiefs.
I think the Chiefs are going to win the division, but the Broncos are going to win in the playoffs as they move forward.
Bring in the underdog.
Because the Chiefs have no passing game. They really did. Well, it's there, but they don't.
I just
it's
love
not,
Peyton Manning. I just love Peyton Manning. See, we were just about to talk about this because he got injured, right? He gets injured and he still pushes through. He's a great guy. Just a great guy.
That's what
That's what players are supposed to do.
Yeah.
They're supposed
I
to
know.
push through injuries.
That's what I'm saying, okay? Can we please talk about football in general, that there's a rule for everything, okay? So this is good. Now we're bringing it up. Here we go. You get hurt. Doesn't matter. You still got to play. Push through the pain. Anyway.
I think we're looking to see Chiefs and Broncos are playing each other this week. I think we might be seeing
That's going to be such a good game.
part one of
Oh,
the
such a
AFC
good game.
Championship.
Probably. If the Chiefs can improve.
I mean, the Broncos are.
Because obviously their defense, next subject.
Right.
You know, their defense is great. Jamal Charles in the running game. Jackson McCollum.
but
They
the
just gotta.
But the Broncos' defense isn't even that great. So I think the Chiefs' offense can handle the Broncos' defense. It's a question of if Peyton Manning can handle the Chiefs' defense. I
Both
think
offense.
That's the matchup I'm looking to see.
Both of them have good offense.
Because
They
you
both.
can't stop
struggling
Peyton.
with
You can
defense.
slow him down, but you can't stop him. He's such a genius. Now, Ed Reed got released from the Texans.
5 hours ago. Via Twitter.
Was this like a sign telling Ed you should have retired with Ray last year, or what do you think? Just it was a new city and they're like, you know what, we're not gonna waste our time with him.
I think, you know what? He should have, if he was going to retire, last season was the season to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you not end it on a great note like Ray Lewis did? End it with a ring. You might as well do it. But like we were, discussing earlier, if, he was going to play for anybody, should he have stayed with the Ravens? I mean, they were going to get rid of him. But if, it probably would have been better for him to stay with the Ravens just because, he already has a known He's a known player for the Ravens already. He can already play for them. If he's starting on a new team, he's kind of has to build himself back up.
Because now it seems like he's forced to retire.
Yeah,
Last season it was like, should I come back or no,
is.
I can leave. Now they're like, okay, Ed, go away.
Right. If they're going to send him to another team, he's got to, do the whole thing all
Right,
over
yeah,
again. They're going to do the
exactly.
same thing. All right, Ed, you're how old? Get out of here.
Yeah,
like,
the Ravens
we've had
could
enough of
tolerate
you.
his injuries because they knew that this is a man who played 10 games and had 8 picks one season.
Yeah.
So they know him. So, but yeah, I think he should have ended off with the Ravens.
Yeah, I think the Ravens are going to end up signing him to like one of those one-day contracts, so that just so he can retire as a Raven. But I think his career in the NFL is just about
It's
done.
just, it's a sad thing, man.
Well, he's going to the Hall of Fame anyway, so he got his Super Bowl.
Yeah, it was just, it's hard to end it like this. This is a crappy way to go, I remember being like kind of excited that he was going to the Texans. I was thinking maybe he would see some playing time, that this would be a good move for him, but I was kind of disappointed he didn't really do much at all.
Exactly.
I mean, he didn't do anything. So it was kind of disappointing that this is how he's ending it, and probably would have been better for him to stay, either leave it with the Ravens or stay with them. So that's a sad way to go.
What do you guys think about Dwayne Bowe with the speeding and then the marijuana possession? And how many times have we seen this in the NFL?
Same
Like,
story, different player.
it's like the new. I think they like have a raffle and they just say, okay, our Dwayne. It's
We're
your
going to
turn
pick
get
it
in
out.
trouble.
Whoever gets picked, you are the one. We're going to pick on you today.
That's just it's embarrassing.
It's just something that's become all too familiar. in
Right,
the
it's
NFL.
the same thing every time. Speeding, marijuana, speeding, marijuana. Can't they switch it up at least? Oh my God.
At least
But
go
we
like
saw how
marijuana
that-
speeding,
but-
okay?
Right,
Like, come
yeah.
on.
Get
like,
marijuana first and then speed away from the cops.
Like, let's go one or the other. Here we go. Drugs is just something that's always going to be a part of sports. It's just never going to fail. It's always going to be a part of sports. Whether or not we choose to recognize it or not, it will be. And I mean, not even just marijuana. I mean, performance enhancement drugs, actual drugs.
So,
I mean, those are all actual drugs.
yeah, every sport has their thing.
You know what I meant, right?
Right,
Baseball
but more
gets in
the
trouble
harder
for
stuff.
steroids.
Yeah, the hard stuff. All right, anyway, keep going. I'm sorry.
Because everybody has their thing in every sport. Baseball is steroids.
It's
NFL,
same.
it's speed and marijuana. NBA, they flop. So, I mean, James Harden just got fined $5,000 for flopping. So everybody has their trends and their fines that they get.
Yeah, it's always something new, man. It is always, you know what? I don't know why, but we had a discussion like this last year, and Lance Armstrong always comes to mind because of all the crap that we had to deal with
Oh
him and
my
his drugs.
gosh.
And I think that the attention that it brings isn't even worth the hype of it. You know what I mean? I mean, everybody, there's so many people that smoke marijuana, and it gets to the point where, like, the media hypes it up to the point where it's not even, it's just so common now that it's it gets hyped up too much, in my opinion.
And people got just sick of the Lance Armstrong thing. Like,
Oh my
it was
gosh.
like years, everybody said he's been doing it, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm finally gonna get on Oprah and confess." You're way late. We don't care anymore.
Yeah, that was
The only thing we're
said
gonna
and
like-
done, buddy.
Oh
Said
my
and done.
gosh.
But it never fails, man. Drugs are always gonna be a part of sports. It'll never end.
Now in the NBA, the Pacers are doing very well. Travis, what do you think about the Pacers?
Pacers are good. George, I don't know what
Wise
else-
words.
I don't know what there's more to say about the Pacers. George is a fantastic player this year. I hope that they can finally overthrow the Heat since the Knicks are not getting the job done.
Oh my gosh.
They're
don't even
undefeated though, aren't they? The
Yeah, they're
Pacers.
8-0.
Doesn't matter. Melo's leaving and going to the Lakers, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but that's only after he wins the championship this year.
Oh, I forgot. He can't leave New York until he wins the championship. Yeah, no, he's gonna leave. There's no question. Melo is leaving.
Yeah.
He doesn't like Amari Stoudemire. Tyson Chandler's getting hurt. Tim Hardaway Jr. will be the shooter next year.
I don't think the Knicks are making the playoffs this year.
I don't know. You
I
can say
can't argue with you, Travis.
I don't, but I love Melo so much. I don't want to say that they're out, but I mean, if they go, they're not gonna win. So I guess I have to agree.
The
with you
Eastern
by default.
Conference, unlike every other year before this, the Eastern Conference is really strong this year.
It
And
is.
the Knicks are going to have to finish above 500 to make the playoffs.
Might be a bit of a challenge.
So how long is the Pacers gonna last? What do you think? Like a couple more games?
Uh,
They're not gonna have a streak like
Are they gonna
Miami.
have a
I already
heat
know
streak?
that. No, they will not. I will
I
not
don't-
let it happen.
I
I
don't-
will
I don't
dress
know.
up.
He won't let it happen. He will go and make sure it doesn't
I don't
happen.
know who their upcoming games are against, but I just hope they can keep winning as long as possible and lock up the number 1 seed fast.
Now Miami is 4-3, and LeBron James said they're having defensive problems and they're struggling. I understand that because think about the basketball they've been playing. What, the past 4 years? They've been in the NBA championship, and that's what, playing an extra 2 months than everybody else. They're tired. Obviously, we can tell by D Wade's health. So I'm not saying that's an excuse
There's
for
no
them to be
excuse.
losing.
If you're going
but
to the
if you're
championship
playing
3
the
years
Sixers,
in a
who
row,
never win, and you go to the championship, you're
the
tired.
Sixers are just good.
No,
The
they're-
Sixers are a better
Oh my-
team.
What? The Sixers are better than the
No,
Miami
they're not
Heat.
better than Miami Heat.
Wait,
They're
whoa,
better
whoa,
than,
whoa.
they're
Wait.
better than they
Wait.
were in the past.
Okay, all right. Please clear that.
They're better
up.
team
Oh my gosh.
historically.
Yeah, the Heat also gave up the 4-point lead against the Celtics with like 6 seconds left.
And Jeff Green made an amazing shot.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Right in LeBron James' face in the corner. Fadeaway 3. I watched it 8 times to make sure it was real. Oh my, Miami Heat are struggling. They're gonna get it together. They're not gonna have as good as a season as
This
last
is kind of
year,
their thing,
obviously.
though. I feel like the Miami Heat have this thing where, like,
They mess with everybody.
yeah, like
Yeah.
they just mess with people because they can. Like, I remember watching them last season, and they would be like way behind for the whole game, and then at the very end they'd turn it on and win. And I remember
we
being
were
like,
20 points in the fourth
yeah,
quarter.
like this is just their thing. Maybe they're messing with people
They're
again.
toying
Just
with
because they
us.
can. Just because they can. Because they're like, hey, let's make these people think that we're not really that good. And they're going to turn it back on. They're going to go for a streak again. We're all going to be amazed.
They're
It's gonna be
waiting for that
great.
point late in the season when they need that final surge to make the playoffs, and that's when
And
they'll
then they
turn
just
it
happen to
on.
go on a 20-game win streak again.
Exactly.
Yeah, that wouldn't be strange for them.
Well, we've also come to one of the most exciting times in sports season, start of college basketball.
Yes.
Is
with,
March Madness yet?
Tonight,
Tonight-
Kansas, Duke.
Tonight is the best night in November college basketball history. Number one versus number 2, Kentucky against Michigan State, followed by Duke versus Kansas, Jabari Parker and Andrew Wiggins.
That is the real number one with
I just
ESPN
love Duke.
150. So
So.
You know what I mean? Like, just about the smart kids playing basketball. That's what I like to say. You know what I mean? Like, you try to get to Duke. I can't even get no one can get to Duke.
Hey,
You're playing
take-
basketball?
Take
But,
away.
all right,
Take away.
it's a lot
Kyrie-
Makes me
easier
so excited.
if you're playing basketball.
Take away.
All right, I'm
Kyrie
just
Irving
saying. I just
and-
feel like they're all really smart.
Oh yeah, because they all did their homework. Yeah.
All right, regardless.
Hey,
I'm
but
just saying.
you know,
It
college
gets
basketball.
done.
The new college basketball thing is being one and done. If you take away Kyrie Irving and Austin Rivers and soon to be Jabari Parker, everybody at Duke stays 4 years. So,
But that just means Kentucky has the best team.
oh well, I guess we're gonna have to see next week who wins. We're gonna have to wait until tonight to see who wins the Duke Kansas game. We'll talk about
Then
it
we'll
next
come
week.
back.
Yeah, we'll come back next week and talk about it. I guess that's all we have for tonight.
Our special guest.
I'm Travis Nardella.
I'm Amir Carter.
I'm Will Lovington.
And I'm Kat Murphy. Thank you for joining us tonight.